There are stories we cover that remind us why this work matters. Not because of the headlines, not because of the numbers or the trends, but because they speak to something deeply, universally human. Tonight, this is one of those stories. Cameron Jibril Thomaz, known to the world as Wiz Khalifa, one of hip-hop's most enduring and beloved voices, has shared news tonight that has stopped the music world in its tracks. His father has passed away, suddenly, at the age of 63. And in doing so, Wiz Khalifa, the rapper, the icon, the global superstar, stepped away from all of that tonight. And he stood before the world simply as a son in pain. We'll have full coverage ahead. But first, we want to take a moment. Because this story deserves more than a headline. The announcement came through Wiz Khalifa's own social media platforms earlier today, and it spread across the internet within minutes. In a video that fans are describing as raw, unfiltered, and heartbreaking, Wiz appeared on camera visibly shaken. His eyes were heavy. His voice trembled. There was no production behind it. No lighting crew, no publicist, no carefully worded statement from a PR team. Just a man, grieving. He explained that his father's passing came without any warning. No illness that had been publicly known. No long goodbye. Just a phone call. A moment. And a life forever split into two halves, before and after. "I'm heartbroken," he said. 3 words. And yet those 3 words carried the weight of everything. Because anyone who has ever lost a parent, anyone who has ever received that call, knows exactly what those 3 words mean. They don't need explaining. They need witnessing. And tonight, millions of people around the world are witnessing this alongside him. Wiz Khalifa has not often spoken publicly about his father over the course of his career. He has always been a relatively private figure when it comes to family, guarded in the way that many public figures are when they wish to protect the people they love most from the glare of the spotlight. But the glimpses he has shared over the years tell a story of their own. Family photographs shared across social media over the decades paint a picture of genuine warmth. A father and son standing side by side, smiling. The kind of connection that doesn't need a caption to explain itself. The kind of bond that simply is. His father was not a celebrity. He did not seek recognition. His name was not on an album sleeve or a chart. But make no mistake, his presence was woven into every single thing his son became. Because that is what parents do. Often quietly. Often without fanfare. They shape us. They build us. They give us the foundation upon which everything else is constructed. Our confidence, our voice, our resilience, our sense of who we are in the world. For Wiz Khalifa, part of that foundation was laid at home. And tonight, part of that foundation is gone. To understand the depth of this loss, it helps to understand the depth of the man carrying it. Wiz Khalifa rose to prominence in the mid-2000s, building his name through a relentless string of mixtapes that earned him a fiercely loyal underground following before the mainstream ever caught on. He was raw. He was authentic. He was unmistakably himself. When Black and Yellow exploded in 2010, the world caught up to what his fans already knew. This was an artist with genuine staying power, not just because of his sound, but because of his sincerity. And then came See You Again, released in 2015 as a tribute to the late Paul Walker for the Furious 7 soundtrack. The song became a global phenomenon. It held the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for 12 consecutive weeks. At one point, it became the most viewed YouTube video in history. But here is what made that song matter beyond the numbers. It was about grief. It was about loss. It was about holding on to someone after they are gone. It was about the space a person leaves behind when they are no longer here. Tonight, the man who wrote those words, the man who gave millions of people a song to cry to, a song to heal to, is living inside that grief himself. And somehow, that makes this moment feel even heavier. The response from fans has been nothing short of extraordinary. Within hours of Wiz sharing the news, social media transformed. Comment sections that are often filled with noise became quiet, sincere, tender. Thousands upon thousands of messages poured in from every corner of the globe, sending love and strength, praying for you and your entire family. We're grieving with you. And beyond the words of comfort, something else happened. Fans began sharing their own stories, their own losses, their own memories of the night they got the call, the night their world divided into before and after. That is what grief does when it is shared publicly and with honesty. It opens a door, and people walk through it together. The music community responded with equal speed and sincerity. Fellow artists, producers, collaborators, and industry figures from across the spectrum took to their own platforms to share tributes, offer prayers, and simply say, "We see you. We are with you." Because in moments like this, the titles fall away. The chart positions, the streaming numbers, the award count, none of it matters. What remains is the most human thing there is. The recognition that loss hurts, and that no one should carry it alone. There is something particular, something uniquely devastating about sudden loss. When loss comes after illness, after a long goodbye, there is grief, but there is also time. Time to prepare, as much as anyone can prepare. Time to say the things that need to be said. Time to sit beside someone and simply be present. But sudden loss offers none of that. It arrives without an invitation. It gives no warning. And when it comes, the mind, in its desperate attempt to protect itself, often refuses to accept it. You pick up your phone to send a message before you remember. You think of something funny to share before you remember. You hear a song and turn to say something before you remember. And then you remember. That cycle, that cruel, disorienting loop, is something no amount of fame or success can shortcut. Wiz Khalifa will go through it. His family will go through it. And tonight, millions of fans who have loved his music for years find themselves wanting to offer him the only thing they truly can. Their presence, their prayers, their compassion. We want to take a step back for a moment, because there is a broader conversation that a moment like this always tends to spark, and it is worth having. When a public figure, someone we have placed on a stage, someone whose face we have seen on screens and magazine covers and sold-out arena walls, allows themselves to be seen in their most vulnerable moment, something shifts. It shifts in us, because we are reminded, viscerally, undeniably, that fame is not armor. Success is not a shield. Platinum records do not protect a heart from breaking. And in seeing that, we are reminded of something essential about ourselves, too. That grief is not weakness. That allowing yourself to be broken open in front of the world takes a kind of courage that very few people ever demonstrate. That saying, "I am heartbroken," without pretense, without performance, is one of the most powerful things a person can do. Wiz Khalifa did that today. And in doing so, he gave his fans, many of whom are carrying their own quiet grief, their own unspoken pain, a kind of permission. Permission to feel. Permission to not be okay. Permission to say so. That is not a small thing. That is, in its way, a gift. Legacy is a word we often save for the end of things, for final chapters and closing ceremonies. But legacy is not only what we leave behind when we are gone. It is also what we pass forward while we are here. Wiz Khalifa's father passed something forward. In the years he spent raising his son, in the values he instilled, the love he offered, the presence he maintained, he helped build something that the world now knows and connects with deeply. Every song Wiz has ever written carries a trace of home, of where he came from, of who shaped him. And that doesn't disappear. It cannot disappear, because it lives in the music. It lives in the man. It lives in every person his son has ever moved, inspired, or reached with a lyric on a hard night. A father's legacy, it turns out, can travel very far, further than charts, further than fame, all the way into the hearts of strangers across the world, who tonight, without ever having known him, are grieving alongside his son. Tonight, our thoughts, and we mean that sincerely, are with Wiz Khalifa, with his family, with his son, Bash, with everyone who is sitting with this loss in the private, quiet spaces where grief actually lives. We hope the love pouring in from around the world reaches them. We hope they feel it. And to our viewers, if this story stirred something in you tonight, we ask you to do one thing. Reach out to someone you love. Make the call you have been putting off. Send the message. Say the words that matter while there is still time to say them. Because the greatest lesson that loss ever teaches us, painful as it always is that time is not guaranteed. And the people we love deserve to know it today. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as Wiz Khalifa and his family navigate this incredibly difficult time. If you found tonight's coverage meaningful, if it moved you, if it made you think, if it reminded you of someone you love, please take a moment to like this broadcast, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe so you never miss a story that matters. And leave a comment below. Tell us who you are holding a little closer tonight. Because in moments like this, community matters, connection matters, and your words, however simple, carry more weight than you know. From all of us here, good night. Stay close to the ones you love.